The Law Society of Kenya LSK on Wednesday held a peace walk in Nairobi to remember their members who lost their lives in line of service, among them the late lawyer Willie Kimani, who was killed in 2016 alongside his client and taxi driver. The commemoration, dubbed the Purple Ribbon, brought together lawyers and advocates from the LSK, the International Justice Mission IJM, as well as family members of the departed heroes of justice. This comes as a 3-judge bench today closed the murder file of the lawyer Willie Kimani, which began 7 years ago, 7 years after his gruesome murder, a move that has been hailed as offering closure and justice to victims, yet also castigated for taking longer than the recommended 3 years to complete and 1 year at the Court of Appeal if an appeal is filed. Grisahati reports.
Cases of extrajudicial killings and enforced disappearances have continued to be reported in the country, affecting everyone, including members of the judiciary whose mandate is to fight for justice for the vulnerable in the society. To remember and celebrate lawyers and advocates who lost their lives in their quest for justice, the Law Society of Kenya LSK held a peace walk from the Supreme Court to the Milimani Law Courts in Nairobi, advocating for protection from police harassment and intimidation. Addressing the press after the walk, LSK Nairobi branch chair Helen Namisi called for an end to police brutality and extrajudicial killings, noting that the commemorations will be done annually to honor their departed members who met their death while discharging their mandate.
The police, just like ourselves, are representing the society, and we are here to ensure that justice is done. And so today we start this commemoration, and then let it be a lesson to all of us, whether we are learned friends or whether we are members of the public, that really at the end of the day we just want justice and we want fairness, so that if we are discharging our duties, then we should not be threatened, we should not be harassed, we should not be facing brutality. We're simply doing our jobs, and we took an oath to ensure that we protect the rule of law without fear, and we will continue to do that.
Speaking during the memorial service, LSK President Eric Theuri noted that they will not be intimidated as they discharge their duties despite facing threats, adding that the lawyers and advocates who have lost their lives in the line of duty will be remembered for their courage to fight for justice and the truth.
We all come together as a profession and we say, even though we know that we face threats and intimidation in the course of duty, serving the high ideals of justice are so important to us that we will not be cowed, we will not be intimidated, and as those who have gone before us and who have shed their blood and have lost their lives to water the tree of justice will be fondly remembered, not just in our memories, but also in our deeds.
It was an emotional moment for Hannah Kimani, wife to the late lawyer Willie Kimani, who read her tribute during the memorial service. For one of the victims, son to late lawyer, it has been a journey full of agony.
He was a man who stood for his family, a man who was a hero to all who knew him, a man who loved unconditionally, a man who believed in sharing and loving, a man who put a smile on people's faces.
And over the years, things happened. Some things we're not happy about. Nothing happened. The case, nothing has ever happened. You hear this, you hear that, nothing happened. You hear about corruption in the court system, you hear people changing, you hear a lot of the different things. You don't know what to believe and what not to believe.
Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Grace Ahati.